Hey everybody, Repel here! Thank you so much for participating and watching Repel Games! Today we're up against opponent Abhishek. Let's just look at his team, okay, before even looking at my team. Scizior, Tapu Fini, Garchomp, Alola Marowak, Magnezone, and Hydreigon. Just pure straight up power, especially that Garchomp or Scizior. Scizior and Garchomp can either be megas in his team. Just so damn frightening. Now I actually have the team that I introduced in my team building video. If you guys did watch my team building video, I introduced this team. I told you guys this team was very balanced and it was very successful, and I'm going to showcase it in an actual battle this time. So I'm actually really excited to narrate this battle. It was a lot of fun. My opponent was very difficult, not gonna lie. I'm going to lead off with the Lyrcanroc. It's always good to go with Lyrcanroc as a hazard, and he's going to go with Scizior. Now, when I see Scizior, I can only assume either Bullet Punch or Swords Dance. However, most Lyrcanrocs run Focus Sash, so I just assume that my opponent's Scizior would actually not even go for a Bullet Punch, because he knows darn well that I will actually just live one Bullet Punch. So I actually went for Taunt here. However, he actually just goes straight for a Bullet Punch, but it's like, come on man, like what kind of Lyrcanroc doesn't hold Focus Sash these days? If you're playing like an OU battle, like you always see Focus Sash on the Lyrcanroc. That's just my guess, but my opponent actually just went for the Bullet Punch instead, and that kind of threw me off a little, so I could not go for the Stealth Rocks. I'm getting out of here expecting a Bullet Punch. However, my opponent just went for U-turn. I'm like, wow, maybe I should have just stayed in with Lyrcanroc. At least Lyrcanroc could have outsped that U-turn and still landed Stealth Rocks. And not to mention, U-turn kind of hurts a little. But that's okay, he's gonna go Hydreigon now, after I switch out to Slowbro. It doesn't even matter if I have leftovers. I don't think I can live a single Dark Pulse. Expert Belt, Life Orb, Choice Specs, Choice Scarf, like whatever this Hydreigon is holding, I'm not gonna live a Dark Pulse. However, I do have Shiinotic that can live the Dark Pulse. Now, again, Hydreigon is of course a Dragon type. That means it can learn a lot of moves, including moves like Fire Blast and Flash Canyon. We did see that he is Life Orbed, so he's not choiced, meaning he can go for a Fire Blast or Flash Canyon next turn. However, I can live both of those and I can actually kill him. I can OHKO him with a ×4 Moonblast. But I thought maybe he would stay, maybe he won't. I don't care. I went for a Spore, but that's a good play on my opponent to go into Tapu Fini, because Tapu Fini can just bring out the Misty Terrain and then not put to sleep. It's really good. However, Tapu Fini can't really do anything to me too, and I can scare it away with a Giga Drain. Excuse me. However, I just went for Leech Seed here. If my Sport doesn't work, at least Leech Seed works. That's what I love about Leech Seed. It just works like almost all the time. There's only one reason why my opponent decides to bring out the Magnezone. It's simply because it has that Flash Canyon. And once you see Flash Canyon, like, it's gonna destroy Shiinotic. Shiinotic is Grass and Fairy after all. And not to mention, some Magnezones are actually Choice Specs. I'm thinking my opponent's is actually Choice Specs simply because my opponent really loves power. He does go for the Volt Switch, expecting, I don't know what to expect. Like honestly, I was gonna switch into Marowak regardless, because Marowak could eat the Flash Canyon or the Volt Switch. I think it was slightly better for my opponent to actually just go into the Flash Canyon, so at least do some damage. I'm expecting my opponent to switch back out into Hydreigon now, or even Scizior. Most likely Hydreigon though. And that's exactly why I did the double switch here, so that I could actually scare it away with one Moonblast. He actually stays in and goes for a Taunt. It's very admirable. Very admirable. However, there's really no point for me not to go for a Moonblast now. And that will actually destroy Hydreigon. I have no investment in special attack, but that doesn't even quite matter. The mist finally disappears, which is really great. He actually brings out the Scizior now. He could scare me away with one Bullet Punch. One Bullet Punch actually does have a low chance to kill, around like 30-something%. But I'm not a gambler, so I'm going to go Celesteela now, expecting the Bullet Punch, or even U-turn. He does go for U-turn. This is good. Celesteela will eat it up for breakfast. And he's switching out here. Now my Celesteela, this Celesteela is very weird. Like, it doesn't have Flamethrower or Fire Blast, nor does it have Leech Seed, so I'm a little bummed out. He actually sends out his Magnezone, and his Magnezone actually has the Magnet Pull ability. So that means I could not have switched out. I was trapped. And because I was trapped, he would go for his Choice Specs Thunderbolt. That was well played on my opponent's part. However, I still have a counter for his Magnezone, which is obviously my Marowak with that awesome Lightning Rod ability. So he's forced to switch out. I could do a double switch here. However, I just want to do as much as I can with Shadow Bone. Shadow Bone actually hits his whole team, you know, neutrally. And it'll do like, holy crap, god damn, that did like 60% to Garchomp. Garchomp is pretty damn bulky, but let's just be honest, Shadow Bone coming from Marowak, it hits even harder. Gonna go Slowbro now, just pretty much expecting anything. He does go for a Poison Jab, expecting the Shiinotic. That's a little bit over predicting there. There's really no point for me to go to Shiinotic, simply because I do have Slowbro. That wall Garchomp like for days. I'm staying in, I'm just gonna go for the Scald. Not to mention, my opponent didn't set up any Stealth Walks or Spikes or anything like that. So there's really no point for me to do any double switches. However, he goes back to the Tapu Fini. Not only will he absorb that water move, but then he cannot get any burn because of that misty terrain. Personally, I think Tapu Fini is my least favorite Tapu because I love inflicting statuses, but as we can see here, none of my Pokemon inflicts any kind of poison or burn, because if you take a look at his goddamn team, like all 6 of his Pokemon are just really heavy hitters, which I'm very against. If you take a look at my team, it's just a really balanced team. Like, I got heavy hitters in my team, you know, like my Celesteela, like my Marowak, and even my Lyrcanroc. You know, these 3 actually hit really hard. However, besides heavy hitters, I like to have some nice walls so that I can comfortably switch back and forth. That makes singles battles a lot easier to switch in, and it just makes balanced teams a lot more fun. He goes for a taunt again. I really did not think that he would stay in, simply because number 1, this Tapu Fini does not have Ice Beam, and number 2, I can actually do quite a lot to this Tapu Fini with Giga Drain. So I'm switching out, expecting him to switch out. I'm really expecting him to go into the Scizior. However, he stays in, okay? Like, he stays in with the Tapu Fini in front of my Shiinotic. Like, Moonblast is not going to do shit to my Shiinotic, so I really thought he was just going to stay in. But I'm going to go back out. I'm going to go into Shiinotic again, expecting him to go for a Surf now. Apparently, he doesn't really care about my Shiinotic. He absolutely does not think my Shiinotic is a threat. Yes, he can taunt me, and so that I can't go for Spore or Leech Seed, but let's just be honest, I'm still a Grass type, and I'm carrying the freaking Giga Drain, okay? Like, there's no way you can stop me. So he goes for the very obvious taunt. This time, I'm not going to go for Spore or Leech Seed. I'm not doing any over predictions. I'm just going to hit him hard with that Giga Drain. It's not going to do that much, but look, still, that still does around like 40%. Okay, and with Leech Seed, and with Leftovers, I'm back at full HP. There's just nothing this Tapu Fini can do to me. He can forgo for a taunt, but like, so what? Now I'm thinking he actually might go into the Scizior now. He really might, but at the same time, maybe not, you know, maybe he hasn't revealed that he has Ice Beam, so he might go for Ice Beam. But turns out he did go, and he goes into his own Marowak now, not even a Scizior, and I just went to switch out. I did another double switch, expecting the Scizior. But I'm actually glad that he goes into his own Marowak, but let me tell you guys something. My Marowak is Jolly Nature, and it has max investment in speed. Therefore, I'm able to outspeed his own Marowak and finish it off with a Shadow Ball. That was super easy. Not only that, a max speed Marowak also can outspeed non-choice Scarf Magnezone as well. After finishing his Marowak, he vengefully brings out the Tapu Fini. He does a double here, which is really great, expecting me to go into the Shiinotic. That's good. I'm kind of glad I'm noticing some double switches on my opponent's side of the field, because for the whole battle I've been doing double switches, but it's good to see double switches on him too, but it doesn't quite work simply because I do have counters for it. Now he could go for his Choice Specs Flash Canyon. That actually do a decent amount, simply because I'm not like invested in Choice Specs, in Special Defense. However, I am quite fast, and I think my opponent knows that, so he's switching into Tapu Fini and eat up 1 Earthquake, and honestly, that's fine. And okay, now here's something that threw me off a little. Like, okay, this Earthquake actually did a lot, so my Shadow Bone can actually kill from this range. My Stab Shadow Bone can actually kill. However, I was a little bit too paranoid. I wasn't sure if I could outspeed this Tapu Fini. If this Tapu Fini did not have any investment in speed, I could outspeed it, according to damage calculator, but I was not sure if my opponent's Tapu Fini has investment in speed or not. So I really didn't want to gamble. But now I think about it, I don't think this Tapu Fini has any investments in speed, simply because it's carrying leftovers and it has some good bulk, so I think it only has investments in HP and special attack. Meaning I could have stayed in with Marowak and probably killed it, but hey, can't cry over spilled milk, right? Gonna go back into the Shiinotic now. I really thought the Scizior was gonna come out, expecting the Giga Drain. I already revealed that I have Giga Drain, so I could have just went for a Giga Drain on this Tapu Fini. However, yeah, he actually stayed in. Like I said, I did a little bit over predicting in this match, but yeah. So I was just like, okay, fine. You know what? If you're so damn confident with your Tapu Fini, you can stay in, and I'm just gonna Giga Drain you. But now he decides to switch out, and now he decides to bring out his Scizior. And once we see Scizior, it's kind of scary. Now I could live one Bullet Punch, I really could. However, like I said, I'm taunted, I can't even go for Spore, so I'm getting out of here. He could predict me and go for U-turn once again, that would actually do quite a lot. But now he starts setting up Swords Dance, and I'm like, holy shit, this is kind of scary. If my opponent actually has X-Scissor or Brutal Swing with max EVs and attack, he could actually just kill me right here. But as we can see, he greedily goes for another Swords Dance. And that's like a huge mistake. That's a huge mistake because I'm carrying the Fire Blast, +4, super effective Fire Blast, but it actually does not kill the Scizior. I'm like, what the hell? But thanks to that burn, that awesome burn, which honestly I don't think is that lucky because I think I have around like 30% chance to burn it with Fire Blast. He actually goes for his +2 post-burned U-turn. That'll actually do nothing. And now he goes back into Magnezone, and Magnezone is pretty much the only thing that can threaten Slowbro now. And I could switch out and grab even more HP with Regenerator. This is why I love Slowbro, honestly. It's like one of the best water types out there, simply because it has Regenerator. Other regenerating water type Pokemon includes like Toxapex and obviously Alola Marowak. So I'm gonna go to Komala now, expecting the Flash Canyon. Why did I send out my Komala? It's because my Marowak is quite low. It's very low in HP. So that Flash Canyon probably could have destroyed my Marowak anyway. I'm going to go for the obvious Protect because his Flash Cannons are doing like way too much. But because we saw he has Flash Canyon and we saw that he goes for a Flash Canyon again, we have confirmed 100% that this Magnezone is stuck onto choice specs, meaning he is literally stuck using Flash Canyon. So he cannot use electric move, and not to mention Slowbro absorbs electric moves, not electric moves, steel moves incredibly well, and I can actually just hit him up with a Fire Blast. Like, just end his life with a Fire Blast. I think my opponent has 2 Pokemon left now. The Scizior? Oh, sorry, he has 4. Oh, wow, excuse me. I'm jumping a little bit ahead. He actually will go to Garchomp. Garchomp will actually take a Fire Blast. He probably will live it. However, I'm just going to go for a Psychic because I know for a fact it'll actually kill Garchomp from this range. Don't even have to use an Ice Beam. Now my opponent has 3 Pokemon left. And things are looking really great on my side now. Like, my Slowbro is still healthy. The only thing that's not healthy in my team, I guess, is like my Lyrcanroc and my Marowak. That's about it. And here, my opponent has decided to forfeit. So there you go. Thank you so much, Abhishek. Viewers, if you guys do enjoy watching my team against my opponent's team, please let me know by liking this video. And as always, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.